Hello, race fans, and welcome once again to the H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series presented by Spokane Angels Foster Care. Today is the fifth and final stop on the 2021 E-League Racing Tour, and we're coming to you virtually from Mission Bay in San Diego, California. It's the HomeStreet Bank, San Diego Bayfair. Hello again, everyone. My name is Brad Luce, and thanks for joining us. The 2021 E-League Racing season has been a good one. A mid-season upgrade to the racing platform made the racing even more realistic, provided more competitive racing action, and challenged our drivers at a higher level. It has not disappointed. Our previous four races have produced three different race winners. Most recently, Kelsey Best in the Miss HomeStreet made it 2 wins on the 2021 circuit by claiming the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. He'll look to make it 2 in a row with a win today on Mission Bay. And as it usually does in H1 Unlimited Racing, our stop in San Diego means not only crowning a new HomeStreet Bank Bayfair champion, but also a season High Points champion. 4 of our E-League racing teams arrive in San Diego with a shot at claiming the High Points prize. For more on that story, let's bring in my broadcast partner, Tate Meyer. Tate?
Good afternoon, Brad. It's great to be here at virtual Mission Bay in San Diego, where High Points battle is winding down. There's only a select amount of points left for the top 3 drivers. We'll take a look at those now, the qualifying speeds as well, and it'll take Eddie Canfouche 960 points away from clinching back-to-back E-League national championships, and then to eliminate Kelsey Best in third place, he needs 474 points. So that's a couple of good heats to eliminate your competition. There's only so much in store. And if we take a look at our qualifying speeds, we see Eddie Canfouche qualifying 8th, 166.7. Our top qualifier, Tim Johnson, a 170.745 miles per hour. The real-life lap record was set in 1999 with Dave Villwalk at a 173. So he's a little bit below that mark, but still a very, very fast field, very, very compact field. I can't wait to see what racing is going to unfold today, Brad.
Well, and our racing's been terrific all year long, as I mentioned in the intro, and it shouldn't be any different today. I think in the 5 races, and I don't know this for a fact, but I would venture a guess that we've probably had 5 different top qualifiers. So it's very competitive. The speeds are very quick. This is a very fast 2.5-mile race course here on San Diego's Mission Bay. It's brackish water. The propeller gets a really good bite, so we're going to have some very fast and very competitive racing. As we get ready to go racing, I'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that the H1 Unlimited E-League Hydroplane Racing Series is brought to you by Spokane Angels Foster Care in Spokane, Washington. Spokane Angels, where they wrap community around children, youth, and families experiencing foster care. And by Jesse Stitches, custom embroidery and more in Snohomish, Washington since 1990. H1 Unlimited is a proud club of the American Powerboat Association, the national authority for boat racing in the United States. The APBA is a member-driven organization established in 1903 and headquartered in East Point, Michigan. For more information on the American Powerboat Association, head over to www.apba.org. H1 Unlimited E-League Racing is also brought to you by Atomic Screen Printing and Embroidery, a leading Northwest producer of high-quality screen-printed and embroidered products since 1998. And by Staples of Spokane, Washington. Staples, going the extra mile for your office needs. And by the Orca Scuba Center in Wenatchee, Washington. A member of the Professional Association of Diving Instructors, Orca offers a full range of snorkeling and scuba courses along with all the equipment you need for your next adventure. And by Woodshed Embroidery in Spokane, Washington. For all your embroidery and vinyl needs to include shirts, hats, jackets, patches, and more, Woodshed Embroidery in Spokane. We thank all our sponsors, Tate Meyer, as we always do. They make our racing possible. And I know you're anxious. I am too. I know our drivers are ready. How about a countdown and a look at our draw for Heat 1A?
Let's take a look at our draw for Heat 1A. Right out of the box, we get our national high point leader, Eddie Canfouche, in the U1 Bucket List Racing. He'll be going up against Carson Kelly in the U8 Strong Racing 1. Graham Trucking, the U12. Replacement driver Jeff Dewalt out of Michigan this race, subbing for Quentin Miller. U91 Goodman Real Estate, driven by Tim Johnson, our top qualifier. U98 Graham Trucking American Dream, driven by Matt Johnson. And the U440 Bucket List Racing 2, driven by Bo Rarick. Heat 1B, TJ Serwinski in the U3 Griggs Ace Hardware. U6 Miss HomeStreet, Kelsey Best, our winner last time out in the Seattle race. U7 Boitano Homes, Scott Przbilski, the game's creator who lives in San Diego. He won last year's race here in San Diego, driving the U9. He'll be going up against the U9 Strong Racing 2. Nick Kish, another Michigander. U11 J&D's Ben Dowell. U48 Lake Ridge Paving with Mickey Washburn. So we got some good heat draws today, Brad. Let's get a countdown going and start our racing off in Heat 1A. 5.
Jump in when you've
4,
got it, and here we go.
3, 2, 1, mark.
5 minutes. 5 minutes to the start of our Heat 1A. It is the San Diego Bayfair, sponsored by HomeStreet Bank. 4 minutes and 50 seconds to the start. It's our final stop on the H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series presented by Spokane Angels Foster Care. We've had great racing all year long. I would expect nothing different here today. Tate just gave us a rundown on the boats in Heat 1A. Now, let's take a look at those boats on the water, and we'll ride along and call them out, beginning with our top qualifier for the day. This is Tim Johnson driving the U91, the Goodman Real Estate. The boat is owned by the citizens of Madison, Indiana. Tim is 24 years of age. He calls home Pasco, Washington. The boat is black and gold, Goodman Real Estate U91. You ride along board now with the U98, the Graham Trucking American Dream. Matt Johnson's behind the wheel. He calls home to Port Angeles, Washington, which is up in the northwestern corner of the state. He's 30 years of age, and he can really handle this race boat. He loves to wind that boat up wide on the outside with a lot of speed and drive the long way around the competition. Let's see if that'll work on this big, fast race course here on Mission Bay. Riding along now with Bo Rarig in the Bucket List Racing 2. The boat predominantly orange. In fact, it's all Tennessee orange. The U40 Bucket List Racing 2. Bo Rarig, 28 years of age, out of Monroe, Washington. He was our winner in spectacular fashion at the season opener in Guntersville. And here is our defending national high points champion, also our current high points leader. He's 18 years of age, out of Grand Island, New York. He is Eddie Canfouche. He drives the U1 Bucket List Racing. So we've got both orange Bucket List Racing boats and entries in this particular heat. Trust me, Eddie needs some points to clinch the national high points crown, but he always drives for first place. Watch for Eddie to try and maybe grab an inside lane, maybe lane 2 or 3. Sitting on board now with the youngster, Carson Kelly. This is Strong Racing entry number 1. It is the U8. Carson, out of Bonnie Lake, Washington, is a rookie on the series this year. He doesn't drive like it. Came within a whisker of winning that first race down in Guntersville. Carson calls home to Bonnie Lake, Washington. He's in the U8 Strong Racing number 1 entry. Rounding out our field here is the Graham Trucking, the U12, the boat driven today by Jeff Dewalt, the 52-year-old out of Warren, Michigan. He is replacing Quentin Miller behind the wheel. Jeff is not new to the sport, however. He has a lot of experience in our H1 Unlimited E-League. Don't look for much of a fall off here in performance from the U12, the Graham Trucking. Jeff knows how to handle his race boat. Those are our 6 entries. It's our Heat 1A. Tate Meyer, we got 47 seconds now until the 1 minute mark. I'm ready to go racing.
Let's go racing. Eddie Canfouche cutting the infield on the front stretch on San Diego's Mission Bay Bill Munsey Memorial Racecourse. About 30 seconds until the 1 minute pin. Let's go up to the chopper cam and see where everybody is. You can see, we zoom in a bit, you can see Carson Kelly stopped at that first buoy. Here comes Eddie Canfouche up alongside him. I don't think anybody else is in this turn. Nope, they're all coming up the front straightaway with 10 seconds left. Looks like Eddie's going to get the leapfrog over Carson. We're 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. We'll get our call from the officials. Clean score up. Matt Johnson in lane 3. He's going to try to get past Eddie Canfush in lane 2. He might get enough at the end of this long straightaway. Again, it's 2.5 miles, Brad, and he got more time to pull off the leapfrog maneuver, but I don't think he's going to do it. 42 seconds.
I don't think he's going to get enough either. He pretty much needs a full rooster tail, and his spotter has said, do not move left. Eddie is right there, and that's the way they are going to stand. At the top end of the race course, it's going to be Carson Kelly in lane 1. It's going to be Eddie Canfush in lane 2. Then it's going to be Matt Johnson in lane number 3. We'll see how the other boats sort out. You will remember a couple of races ago, Tate Meyer, that our friend Eddie Canfush drove that boat in lane 2 all day long and was extremely successful. Coming up now on 10 seconds until the start. The boats are fanning out to come down to the line. You want to hit the start-finish line with your boat wide open at full song with clean water. We are 2 seconds, 1 second, mark. And we are racing here in Heat 1A at the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. And on the outside, it is Matt Johnson from lane number 3. But just on his left is Eddie Canfush in lane 2. Got to leave a lane in there for Carson Kelly in lane 1, which they do. I think they're clean through the corner. And it is going to be Canfush and Johnson. They're going to get off the lower corner side by side. Already, Tate Meyer, we got side-by-side racing up the backstretch.
Side-by-side racing, Matt Johnson and Eddie Canfush as Matt Johnson flies it up the backstretch. You gotta watch for that wind coming through that gap in the bridge, Brad. We saw a double blowover back in 1988 at that same spot, but Matt Johnson leads Eddie Canfush into turn number 2, the SeaWorld turn. Let's see if he leads at the exit pin. They're deck to deck. They're more deck to deck than they were. But looks like Matt Johnson's gonna maybe lead after lap number 1.
Boy, and if he's going to lead after 1, which he does, he's going to lead by no more than a boat length. Extremely tight racing here. And this is part of the change that we saw to the racing platform that was made a number of races ago. You can set your boat up to be quicker on the outside, and then you can stay outside and be very competitive. Matt is showing exactly that. But now it is Canfush off the lower corner with a little bit of an advantage with that inside lane. But again, it is only by a boat length. You know, I've been saying for weeks that one of these days, Matt Johnson is going to pick up a win here in our E-League Racing Series. Maybe this will be the day, and he is coming out of the box extremely fast. He, I think, is going to have Eddie. No, he's not. He's going to be back still by about a boat length and a half as they are at the top end of the race course here on lap number 2, and it's lap number 2 of 3. And this is great side-by-side racing with a couple of the faster boats on the tour and a couple of our better drivers. But right now, Tate, it's Eddie Canfush by a couple of boat lengths as they start the 3rd and final lap.
They're coming down to turn 1 here in San Diego. Eddie Canfush has Matt Johnson by about a half a rooster tail as they hit the entrance pin. He'll keep that advantage and maybe extend that advantage being in lane 1 through turn number 1 as they hit up the backstretch and hit the exit pin. Matt Johnson looks like he'll settle for 2nd place maybe. It's 300 points anyway. As we check back on the rest of the field, Eddie Canfush looks to be a comfortable lead over Matt Johnson, and then his teammate Bo Rarick bringing up 3rd place as they hit the SeaWorld turn, Brad.
Yeah, for the 3rd and final time, they come to the top end of the race course, the SeaWorld turn. It is Eddie Canfush by about 4, maybe 5 boat lengths over Matt Johnson in the 98 Graham Trucking American Dream. I think Matt will just sit there and pick up the 300 points. It is going to be fast Eddie Canfush driving the U1 Bucket List Racing. The 18-year-old out of Grand Island, New York, will pick up 400 points in Heat 1A. 2nd place will go to Matt Johnson driving the 98, the Graham Trucking. 3rd place will go to Bo Rarick. 4th place will go to Jeff Dewalt in the Graham Trucking. If I didn't miss anybody coming across, Carson Kelly is going to come down here in 5th place driving the 8 Strong Racing.
Looks like Carson Kelly actually captured 4th, and then we had Tim Johnson in 5th and Jeff DeWalt bringing up the rear in 6th, Brad.
I dropped my head down to jot some notes as I was talking and obviously missed a boat coming across. But boy, right out of the box, Tate Meyer, we got terrific racing here in our Heat 1A, just as we expected.
Just as we expected, and Eddie Canfush gets 400 points in his effort to clinch the National High Point Championship in our E-League for the 2nd consecutive season, and he joins us now in the announcer's booth. Eddie, a great start, but you had to battle back from a deficit here on lap number 1.
Yeah. Matt hit a real nice start on the outside. I mean, all 3 of us there, Carson, Matt, and myself, were there at the line at 0. And Matt had tons of speed. He was definitely set up to be out there, and just a great race right there. That was a lot of fun.
Eddie, Brad Luce here. You seem to like that lane 2 sequence.
Yeah, it worked well for me in Tri-Cities, and this course is fairly similar, so not a lot of changes to the setup. Go out there in lane 2, see what I can do. It worked well last time.
Well, good. And obviously you are in the battle to try and clinch your second National High Points Championship here in the E-League Racing Series presented by Spokane Angels Foster Care. You just took 400 steps in the right direction. I know that's got to feel pretty good.
It feels real good to start the day like that. Hopefully that can set the tone for me all day, and I can keep going like that, because that'd be a great way to finish this season off.
Well, it was good for you. It was good for us. We love side-by-side, deck-to-deck racing, and you just put on a great show. We'll talk to you later on in the program, but it's a good start to the day, my friend.
All right, thank you very much. And one last thing, got to thank our sponsors, of course, Spokane Angels Foster Care, Jesse Stitches, the EPBA, Atomic Screen Printing and Embroidery, Staples of Spokane, Orca Scuba Center, and Woodshed Embroidery. Thank you guys for supporting the series and allowing us to put this on.
Thank you, Eddie. And Tate Meyer, one of these days, we're going to have to bring him into the broadcast booth, not just after the heats. He's pretty good at this stuff.
He has his fair share of commentating opportunities in our off-season league, the SNHL, so he'd be a great addition to our HydroSim commentary booth.
The H1 Unlimited E-League Hydroplane Racing Series is brought to you by Spokane Angels Foster Care. Their unique and powerful Love Box program is changing the way children experience care through intentional giving, relationship building, and mentorship. And by Jesse Stitches, custom embroidery and more in Snohomish, Washington since 1990. Heat 1A was a good one. Heat 1B on paper looks extremely competitive as well. Why don't you get us on the clock, Tate Meyer? Let's go racing again.
Let's go racing in Heat 1B. I think we're about ready. We'll look for the thumbs up from our lead official and get Heat 1B on the water on a Mission Bay race course. We're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Heat 1B. The boats come off the trailer and to the dock, Brad. We're 5 minutes.
5 minutes, inside 5 minutes to our Heat 1B of the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. It's the H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series presented by Spokane Angels Foster Care. Prior to Heat 1A, Tate Meyer ran down the boats that would be competing in our second heat of racing here today, Heat 1B. Let's go on board with each of the boats and take a look at them one more time. We'll start right now with our U6 Miss HomeStreet. The boat is driven by Kelsey Best out of Mesa, Arizona. He is 33 years of age. Kelsey Best is a driver and the only driver over the last 2 seasons who has won multiple races in a single season, and that was this year when he won in Madison, Indiana, and also at the Seattle Seafair a couple of weeks ago. He would love nothing more than to be victorious at the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. Kelsey Best driving the blue and white Miss HomeStreet. Jumping on board now with the U7 Boitano Homes, the Spirit of Detroit. The boat, as you see there, predominantly red with blue and white striping on either side. The boat is driven by San Diego, California native Scott Przybylski, who is 35 years of age. We always talk about him as the game's creator, but right now let's step to the more important piece to the puzzle. Last year at the San Diego Bayfair, Scott Przybylski, albeit driving the 9, was successful and our champion. So he's our defending HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair champ, Scott Przybylski. The Lake Ridge Paving, the U48, the predominantly white boat driven by Mickey Washburn out of Pasco, Washington. Mickey is 42 years of age, been driving with us here for a couple of seasons. One of these days, Mickey is going to step up and be victorious as well. He handles this boat very, very well. It is predominantly white, as you see, and can easily be distinguished with the black and white checkerboard scheme on the fairings. Mickey Washburn driving the Lake Ridge Paving. There's a boat that is not hard to find on the race course at any time. It's the U11, the J&Ds, driven by Nashville, Tennessee's Ben Dewalt. Ben is 33 years of age, originally from Tacoma, Washington, so he grew up watching hydroplanes in the city of Seattle, now resides in Nashville. Ben Dowell, 33 years of age, driving the J&Ds, very brightly colored J&Ds, the U11. Everybody loves piston power, and the piston boat is here at our San Diego Bayfair. It is the U3 Go 3 Racing, the Griggs Ace Hardware. Out of Tonawanda, New York, TJ Zerwinski is behind the wheel. He's a rookie this year, but he's been handling this boat better and better as the weeks go on. He's a father with 2 children, and if there is a person on the planet that loves hydroplane racing more than TJ Zerwinski, I'd like to meet them, because this guy is a true fan. He loves hydroplane racing at all levels, to include the H1 Unlimited E-League Series presented by Spokane Angels. TJ Zerwinski driving the 3. And rounding out our field is strong racing entry number 2, Nick Kish. The boat is the U9. Nick calls home to Rochester Hills, Michigan. He's 32 years of age and a rookie, been getting better and better with the passing of time. Is today the day he steps up and maybe claims the big prize. We are getting ready for our start. We're 15 seconds to the 1 minute mark. Tate Meyer, bring him to the 1 minute buoy.
We're 10 seconds away. We got 3 parking starters and 3 leapfroggers as we are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. We'll see if there's any jumpers from our officials. Clean score up, and it looks like the first 3 lanes are probably going to hold the advantage over lane 4 and lane 5 in TJ Zerwinski and Ben Dowell. So it looks like Nick can come over a little bit if he wants to. We'll see if he does that from lane 5. But Scott Przybylski and Kelsey Best are battling for lane 1 and 2, and I think they're going to stay that way heading up to the entrance pin.
Yeah, they did indeed. And Mickey Washburn is
Nick
in
Kish
3,
is going to hit
now
lane
it
1.
looks like Kish went all the way over. He did. Kish came all the way over from the far outside on lane 5, dove all the way into lane number 1. He got them all. What a move. 20 seconds until the start. So Nick Kish, I mentioned he's getting better and better driving this U9 Strong Racing 2. He's now got it in lane number 1 with 12 seconds until the start. Przybylski is going to be in 2. It's going to be Best in 3. Washburn in 4. Coming up on 3 seconds. 2, 1, mark, and we are racing here in our Heat 1B of the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. We'll get word from our officials that the start was clean, but from lane 3, it's going to be Kelsey Best getting down to the lower corner first, getting tight in there for Przybylski. The lane was there, but he got a little bit wet. There was room there for him, and off the lower corner in lane 3 with about 4 boat lengths lead over the competition both inside and outside of him is Kelsey Best driving the HomeStreet, Tate. He had a good corner through turn 1.
They're 5 wide or 4 wide behind Kelsey up the backstretch heading into the SeaWorld turn. Let's see how they go through the SeaWorld turn here. Kelsey's going to hit the entrance pin first in lane 1. As we go back and look at the rest of the field, looks like Mickey Washburn maintains an advantage over the inside boats and takes over second place. Ben Dowell takes over third. Looks like Kelsey Best is going to lead across the line as we finish lap number 1, Brad.
Kelsey Best has got a big lead, about a rooster tail and a half, but boy, going down the back straightaway there, he had and still does have rear view mirrors full of boats on both sides, but the racing is right back there for second place. As you said, Mickey Washburn has got second place, but he's only got about a boat length, maybe a boat length and a half over Ben Dowell in the J&Ds. That's where the good racing is right now, because Kelsey Best is showing everybody the short way around as you ride on board with Ben Dowell, and you see just how tight he is with Mickey Washburn just off to his left. We are on lap number 2 of 3, and we are up the backstretch to the top end of the race course to the SeaWorld turn. Kelsey Best is way out in front, but that doesn't mean we don't have great racing in the back of the pack, Tate.
As they hit the exit pin, it's going to be Mickey Washburn in the U48 with the second place over Ben Dowell. If we go up ahead, we'll see Kelsey Best gigantic lead over the field as he starts the final lap. But we're going to focus on this second place battle here between Mickey Washburn and Ben Dowell as they come down to turn number 1. It's going to be Mickey Washburn going past the entrance pin first and maybe increasing his advantage of being on the inside as they start the final lap, Brad.
Yeah, they're down at the lower end of the race course here on lap 3 of 3. It'll be interesting now to watch Ben Dowell in third place in the J&Ds. Just how hard does he really want to push it? There's 225 points laying there for him in third place. This is only their first heat of the day. You want to make sure you score points and you can live to fight another day. Top end of the race course, this one has been Kelsey Best from wire to wire. If he can just negotiate this upper corner, which he does cleanly, he will come down to pick up a checkered flag and 400 points. The racing is behind him, and Washburn, now look what's happened, is that Ben Dowell has dove to the inside here. He's going to try and run down Mickey, and he's just not going to get him. Mickey Washburn is going to be able to hold him off. Ben Dowell dove all the way to the buoy row there inside the wash from Kelsey Best in the HomeStreet, but he's still going to come home in third place. Fourth place will go to Scott Prisbilski in the Boitana Homes. Here's a close finish here for fifth place, and it looks like it's going to go to Carson Kelly. If I got my angle, boy, that was close. I think it's Carson Kelly is going to finish just a nip ahead of TJ Serwinski. That was really close right there for fifth place, Tate.
Yeah, it's the Strong Racing 2 boat. Nick Kish is going to take over fifth place from TJ Serwinski, but what a run from Kelsey Best. Just wired the start and said goodbye to the rest of the field. What a heat. So Kelsey Best is in our announcer's booth now as he comes back to the pit area. Hope he can talk and drive at the same time, Kelsey, and not hit the dock. Good start. Kind of said bye-bye to the field after that.
Thanks, Tate. Yeah, it was able to hit a good start there with some good amount of speed. It was a little hairy going down there at the score up. Nick kind of came in there, surprised me a little bit. But yeah, I was able to still get a decent enough start from lane 3, and obviously getting through the first turn clean is usually the most important thing, and it proved that way again.
Yeah, and Kelsey, this is Brad Luce here. As you got through that first turn clean and came down the backstretch, I made the comment, you had rear view mirrors on both sides of your boat full of the competition. They were 4 wide behind you up the backstretch on lap 1. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's awesome to see, especially with the setups now in the game, just how competitive everyone can be from different lanes using different strategies. It just makes it a ton of fun.
Well, I know it's a ton of fun for you. We're having an awful lot of fun watching it, and you seem to ratchet it up a notch every time we mention a sponsorship of a particular event as being HomeStreet. I know this would be another big one for you to win if you could do it in the Miss HomeStreet.
Yeah, obviously, always want to go out there and try to do as best as possible when it's our a race that's, our title sponsor is supporting. And HomeStreet Bank is such a big part of this sport. Our sponsors do so much. We're so glad to see boats get back out on the water for real here pretty soon. But yeah, I just want to say a shout out again to the rest of our sponsors today. Spokane Angels Foster Care, Staples of Spokane, Woodshed Embroidery, Jesse Stitches, APBA, Atomic Screen Printing, Orca Scuba Center. It's just incredible to see that many people finding the value of sponsoring these events. And again, a special thank you to Miss Madison Racing Team for the opportunity. And in case I'm not up here again today, I plan to be, but in case not, I want to say a big thanks to my wife Danielle, my son Clayton, for just supporting me in doing this series. It does take a little bit of time in the evenings and the weekends getting prepared, and just want to say special thanks to them.
Kelsey, thank you very much. We say thanks to them as well. Nicely done. And we'll look for you later on in the day. The H1 Unlimited E-League Hydroplane Racing Series is brought to you by Atomic Screen Printing and Embroidery, a leading Northwest producer of high-quality screen-printed and embroidered products since 1998. H1 Unlimited is a proud club of the American Powerboat Association, the national authority for boat racing in the United States. The APBA is a member-driven organization established in 1903 and headquartered in East Point, Michigan. For more information on the American Powerboat Association, head on over to www.apba.org. That's www.apba.org. And by Staples of Spokane. Staples, going the extra mile for your office needs. Tate Meyer, we've had terrific racing in our Heats 1, Heats 1A, and Heats 1B. It's time for 2A and 2B. Looks like you've got the draw up there on the screen. Let's quickly run down it, get on the clock. I'm ready for some more of this racing. It's been good.
It's been great racing all season long, and expect nothing different. Our final 6 heats of the day, including the provisional and the final. But in Heat 2A, we got U3 Griggs Ace Hardware, U6 Miss HomeStreet, U7 Boitano Homes, the U8 and the U9 Strong Racing 1 and 2, and the U48 Lake Ridge Paving with Mickey Washburn rounding out the field. In Heat 2B, Eddie Canfouche in the Bucket List Racing number 1, the U11 J&Ds, U12 Graham Trucking, U91 Goodman Real Estate, U98 Graham Trucking American Dream, and the U440 Bucket List Racing 2. So we got a lot of teammates in similar heats with each other that could throw some wrenches in some other teams' plans here. And just want to remind you, last week or 2 weeks ago in Seattle, Kelsey Best won from Palm Springs, California. He wasn't even at home. So now he's back home in comfortable confines of his own house. He's going to be tough to beat today, Brad.
Now that's a road trip. That's driving from a long ways away. That's good. Well, see how he does today. But right now it is Heat 2A. Get us on the clock, Tate Meyer. Let's go racing.
All right, looking for a countdown from our chief referee, Jared Meyer. He's giving me the thumbs up. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Heat 2A.
5 minutes to the start of our Heat 2A. It is the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. The final stop on the H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series presented by Spokane Angels Foster Care. It's the 5th and final stop on the tour. They've all been terrific, but it all comes to a close today as you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just waiting on our final boat, Nick Kish, to come away from the dock. Let's once again take a look at the boats that'll be in our Heat 2A. You're looking right down there on the gentleman we just spoke to, and that was Kelsey Best. He's driving a Miss HomeStreet, predominantly blue and white hydroplane, the U6. Kelsey out of Mesa, Arizona. Riding on board now is Scott Przybylski, the 35-year-old out of San Diego, California. He's on home waters, driving the U7 Boitano Homes, Spirit of Detroit, predominantly red boat, as you see there with the blue and white striping, Scott Przybylski. Looking there at the bright red Strong Racing entry number 1, the U8. The boat is driven by the youngster, and when I say youngster, I do mean youngster, the 11-year-old Carson Kelly out of Bonnie Lake. I mentioned before, he almost won our race in Guntersville. Don't be surprised if he doesn't step up and bite everybody today. Carson Kelly driving the U8 Strong Racing entry number 1. Here's the piston power, the U3 Go 3 Racing, the Griggs Ace Hardware out of Tonawanda, New York. It's TJ Zerwinski behind the wheel. He'd love nothing more than to be in New York and win this race in sunny Southern California. TJ Zerwinski, the U3. Looking at our other boats positioning themselves for the start. You're riding along board right now with the predominantly white U48 Lake Ridge Paving. Mickey Washburn from Pasco, Washington handles the driving chores here. You see what he sees as he looks off to his left and sees the Park and Start team there off to his left. Mickey says, nope, not going to play that game this time. I'll go around again. Still plenty of time with 2 minutes and 40 seconds until the start. And rounding out our field is the other Strong Racing entry. This one is predominantly black versus the red Strong Racing 1. This is the black one, the U9 Strong Racing number 2 entry. Nick Kish, quite a start procedure, and you see him just sitting at the dock. Not sure what the issue there is with Nick Kish, but he is just sitting at the dock in the Strong Racing number 2. Young man out of Rochester Hills, Michigan. We'll hope he can get that boat fired up. He's got about another 60 seconds to do so. Possible this could be part of his starting procedure. Tate, you know what's going on here.
He's just waiting at the dock, a la Andrew Tate. 2 minutes to go. He's going to fire it up. He's going to go down the front stretch. He's going to time that starting procedure in the 1 minute pin really well, but he may be a little bit behind. He may have left the dock too late, Brad, but 40 seconds here before the 1 minute score up. We have Kelsey Best just crossing the start-finish line as Mickey Washburn comes on his outside, past him on the outside. We got 30 seconds left, and we'll check on our parkers down in turn number 1 as we take our helicopter shot, our drone shot. 20 seconds left, and we'll see if anybody's gonna hit the gas a little bit early, maybe put themselves out of position. But 15 seconds, they should be on the accelerator now, at least on the ignition switch now. And look at this speed on the outside from Nick Kish. He's going to go way wide with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 mark. Look like a clean score up. We'll see. It is a clean score from our officials as we go to the helicopter cam. We'll see if Kelsey Best has overlap. He should have overlap all the way over to lane number 1 if he wants it. He's going to put Carson Kelly and Scott Przybylski in a bit of a predicament, but they move over to 2 and 3. We got TJ Serwinski in 4. And where is Mickey Washburn? He's going to go out to lane 5. So good move, good leapfrog maneuver by Kelsey Best to secure lane 1, Brad.
Yeah, it was a good move, and we talked about Nick Kish just sitting at the dock. It almost worked. We thought he was going to be a little bit late to the 1-minute buoy. As it turned out, he was a tick or two early, and he had to pull his foot because he had a ton of momentum when he got into that lower corner. I thought he was going to really pull off a maneuver, but unfortunately, it didn't quite work. But it worked out well for Kelsey Best. He was able to leapfrog to lane 1. We are 2 seconds, 1 mark, and we are racing in Heat 2A at the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair, and the boats are going to roar down to the lower end of the race course. And already, once again, Kelsey Best in this HomeStreet has got a big lead. He's got almost a full rooster tail on Carson Kelly in lane number 2. Then it is Scott Przybylski in 3rd place in lane number 3. But look at the speed once again we're seeing out of the Miss HomeStreet and Kelsey Best, Tate. This thing is a rocket ship today.
This thing is a rocket ship, and as long as he secures lane 1 and hits that starting line right before the clock kicks 0 with a carload of boat speed, he's pretty much unbeatable. As Carson Kelly and Scott Przybylski hit the SeaWorld turn deck to deck, battling for 2nd place. But just like the first heat that Kelsey was in, Brad, it's the 2nd place battle that we're going to focus on, not the battle for 1st, as he crosses the start-finish line with 2 rooster tail lead on lap 2.
And we go back to that 2nd place battle, and it's about a half a boat length lead when they completed lap number 1 of 3. And that was for Scott Przybylski on the outside, driving the 7, the Boitano Homes. And now you see the youngster, Carson Kelly, has taken that lead back for 2nd place, but only by a boat length, maybe a boat length and a half. He is just inside of Scott Przybylski. That's where the racing is right now. Przybylski was able to run him down on the outside on the front straightaway. We'll see if he's got the speed up the backstretch. You see the youngster Carson Kelly flying the boat off to his left, and Przybylski trying to hide right on his hip in 3rd place. If there is any type of a hiccup from Carson Kelly, Przybylski is right there to pick up the pieces and go around him. But so far, Carson Kelly able to hold him off as they come down to put 2 of 3 in the books. Meanwhile, Kelsey Best way out in front driving a HomeStreet, Tate.
He is walking away with this heat. 2 to 3 rooster tail lead as the 2 2nd place boats start to cross the finish line. And Carson Kelly's going to lead him into turn number 1. He's got about a half, maybe a quarter of a rooster tail lead over Scott Przybylski. But as long as he's on the inside, Brad, it's going to be a tall order for Scott to overtake Carson on this backstretch, considering he only has half a lap to go. But Kelsey Best running away with another heat as they come down to finish lap number 3.
Yes, and at some point, Scott Przybylski on the left of your screen there in 3rd place. At what point does he throw in the towel and say, okay, I'm not going to push it any harder. I'll take the 2nd place points or the 3rd place points for 225 total. And look at Kelly here trying to make a run at Kelsey Best. He's not going to get him, but Kelsey Best probably driving pretty conservatively on that last lap. Will come down in 1st place, 400 points for him. Carson Kelly will come home in 2nd place. Scott Przybylski will come home in 3rd, and it's going to be Mickey Washburn in 4th in the Lake Bridge paving. 5th place is going to go to Nick Kish. Had that unique starting sequence, almost worked for him. And our 6th place finisher, TJ Serwinski, driving the Griggs Ace Hardware. Again, good racing here in our Heat 2A, just once again thanks to Kelsey Best. It wasn't out front. It was in second place. Kelsey is showing an amazing amount of boat speed.
Amazing amount of boat speed. He's getting lane one. He's doing the leapfrog, and then he's hitting the starting line with a lot of boat speed and saying goodbye to the field. Great run by Kelsey Best. We got Carson Kelly up here in the booth. Carson, good run holding off Scott Przybylski in lane 3, but you didn't really have an answer for Kelsey Best up there in lane 1, did you?
He had a lot of boat speed at that 1 minute pin and just got lane 1 from me, and it almost put me down in lane 4, but I kind of saved myself and had a good run with Scott, so I'm all right with that.
And Carson, Brad Luce here, nothing wrong with a second place finish. You actually closed a little bit on Kelsey Best. Did you see you were making up some ground on him there in the final corner?
Yeah, I did. I thought I maybe could have caught him if he kept lifting. He was probably just keeping it safe just to make sure he takes the 400 points and puts him up higher in those point rankings. So, yeah.
Well, and nothing wrong with 300 points, because that's 300 points toward getting you in the final, and I know that's the one you want to win. Congratulations, young man. That was a good race.
And one more thing before I go, I would like to thank all of our sponsors, Spokane Angels Foster Care, Jesse Stitches, APBA, Atomic Screen Printing and Embroidery, Staples of Spokane, Orca Scuba Center, and Woodshed Embroidery. So, yeah, thank you guys for sponsoring us.
Well, Carson, we thank you for putting on a great show, and I'll tell you what, I read the sponsors, and you're making my job really easy. Congratulations, young man. We'll talk to you later on in the day.
Yep.
Carson Kelly, ladies and gentlemen, driver of Strong Racing entry number 1, the U8, second place finish there in our Heat 2A. The H1 Unlimited E-League Hydroplane Racing Series is brought to you by Orca Scuba Center in Wenatchee, Washington. A member of the Professional Association of Diving Instructors, Orca offers a full range of snorkeling and scuba courses, along with all the equipment you need for your next adventure. Find them at orcascubacenter.com. And by Woodshed Embroidery in Spokane, Washington, for all your embroidery and vinyl needs, to include shirts, hats, jackets, patches, and more. It's Woodshed Embroidery in Spokane. Heat 2A was another good one. On deck is our Heat 2B. Tate Meyer, let's get us on the clock. I'm ready to go.
Let's get this Heat 2B started. And Brad, before we do that, I think Carson's not only been watching some of his dad's racing clips, he's maybe watching some post-race interviews, because he's getting schooled up in these post-race interviews with us. But before Heat 2B, we get our countdown from our head official. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Heat 2B, 5 minutes.
Heat 2B of the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair is on the water. We're inside 5 minutes. You see the boats there at the dock. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5. We'll look to get all 6 of them out on the water as they slowly come away from the dock there, and the top end of the race course here. They'll come out, and then off to their right is the famous SeaWorld backdrop. We refer to it sometimes as the SeaWorld corner. But right now, let's jump on board with our 6 boats and talk about who will be racing here in our Heat 2B, starting with our defending national high points champion, Bucket List Racing, Eddie Canfus, Fast Eddie, as I like to talk to him. Talk about him, the young man out of Grand Island, New York, 18 years of age. Someday, if he has things his way, you're going to see Eddie Canfus behind the wheel of a real inboard hydroplane. He is chomping at the bit to go. I got a hunch he'll be a good one. Eddie Canfus driving the U1. Now you're on board with Ben Dowell, the 33-year-old out of Nashville, Tennessee, driving the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange J&Ds. The U11, can't miss that boat on the race course. It's a bright one. Ben's originally from Tacoma. He grew up watching hydroplane racing. Riding along board now with Tim Johnson and the Goodman Real Estate, the U91. We talk about it pretty much every week, Tate Meyer, but I always like the color scheme on this one, the black and the gold. Throwback to some days and boats from a long time ago, like the Budweiser malt liquor or the Mr. Fabricator. They too were black and gold. Tim Johnson, the Goodman Real Estate, U91. Now you're looking at the red, predominantly red, trimmed in black and silver. It's the U12 Graham Trucking. Jeff Dewalt behind the wheel. He replaces Quentin Miller today. Jeff is from Warren, Michigan. He knows how to handle this race boat. Look for him to do a good job. Jeff Dewalt driving a Graham Trucking. On board now with the other bucket list racing entry. Tate Meyer mentioned that we have some teammates running in our second sections of heats here. Here is the second one that's going. Bo Rarig also out here with Eddie Canfouche. Bo Rarig in the predominantly orange. In fact, it's all orange. Tennessee orange, the bucket list racing number 2 entry. It's the 440 Bo Rarig, 28 years of age, out of Monroe, Washington, which is just north of the Seattle area. Our boats are getting ready here for the start, and this is one that I like. It's a quick one. It's the 98. You can't miss it on the race course. It's red, white, and blue, stars and stripes, the Graham Trucking American Dream. Matt Johnson handles the driving chores, 30 years of age, out of Port Angeles, Washington. This guy I thought was maybe going to walk away with the Seattle Seafair race a couple weeks ago, but he got back a little bit at the start and it cost him, but he was clearly one of the fastest boats on the course that day. Look for a strong showing out of the red, white, and blue patriotic American Dream, Matt Johnson. 1:45 until the start. Right now, 1:45. Bring us to that 1 minute buoy. You can't go past that 1 minute exit pin in the lower corner. That's turn number 1. Tate Meyer, if you do, you incur the wrath of the officials along with a 1 minute penalty. That's the score up buoy. They got to stay behind it at 60 seconds.
Yep, and we're 30 seconds away from that, actually 25 now, as Jeff Dewalt's the only one parked down here. Looks like Eddie Canfouche is going to come up behind him in lane number 2, about 20 seconds away. As you zoom out, we're going to have a lot of leapfroggers trying to get around in that lane 1. We got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. Looks like a very clean score up. We'll take our chopper cam up the backstretch, and I think Ben Dowell is going to have plenty of overlap to come over to whatever lane he wants, whatever he wants to claim. There are 50 seconds now until the start. All of these guys inside of Ben Dowell are going to have to fight for lanes outside of his wake now, Brad. Looks like Matt Johnson has traversed it. Now Eddie Canfouche is going to traverse it. Eddie Canfouche might get boxed here, Brad. He's trying to squeeze out into lane 2. I think he's going to. I think Eddie Canfouche is going to be in lane 2, Matt Johnson in lane 3, Bo Rarig lane 4, Jeff Dewalt lane 5, and on the far outside I believe is going to be Tim Johnson. But a great move by Ben Dowell getting lane 1.
Great move by Ben Dowell up the backstretch. He jumped everybody, and you saw the same thing I did. I thought maybe Eddie Canfouche was going to find himself without a lane. You said boxed out. I thought for a minute that was what was going to happen to him. He went ahead and hit the throttle, was able to get up, get some advantage on Matt Johnson and secure lane 2, which we know that's where he wants to be. We're 1 second. We are racing here already in Heat 2B of the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair as the boats are hammering down into the lower corner, and on the inside it's going to be Ben Dowell getting down there first. He's running actually in lane number 2. No, excuse me, that is not Dowell. Dowell is back in lane number 1, but that's fast Eddie Canfouche in lane 2, and here it is again, Tate Meyer. Lane 2, Eddie Canfouche out front. We're starting to sound like a broken record. He clearly likes lane 2.
He likes lane 2. He's got the setup for it. He's got clear overlap into lane 1 if he wants it, but he may not take it this early, Brad, as he passes the entrance pin of the SeaWorld turn first. Eddie Canfouche with a half rooster tail lead on his outside of Matt Johnson, a full rooster tail lead on his inside of Ben Dowell. Again, he can come over to lane 1 if he wants, but he may not do that. Going to avoid the wakes in lane 1 that may cause trouble. May stay out in lane 2 and use that setup that he's got onto his advantage.
Yeah, I honestly don't expect he's going to move over to lane number 1 because, as we've been saying all along, he loves lane 2, and boy, is he solid. And he's clearly running in that particular arc through the lower corner down there. Plenty of room behind him for Ben Dowell. Yeah, there's room for Eddie to move over to 1. As we said, we don't think he's going to do it. He is strong up the backstretch. He's a lap and a half in with a lap and a half to go here in Heat 2B at the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. It's our defending national high points champion, Fast Eddie Canfouche in bucket list racing. He is rocking and rolling to the top end of the course here, the SeaWorld turn. On his outside, running strong in second place, is Matt Johnson in that 98 American Dream. He might want to try and jump to the inside, but I still think it is early, Tate Meyer. I don't think you want to take risks like that. We're only in our second section of heats here. You got to get into that final before you can win it. Down to the lower end of the race course here on the third of 3 times around the race course. There's some good racing back in the pack. Our 2 leaders are out front, but look at the racing we've got going on here for third place. On the far outside in lane number 5 is Tim Johnson in our top qualifier, the Goodman Real Estate, the U91, running really hard up the backstretch. He's showing some shoot speed, and he's on the far outside, Tate.
So on the far outside, he's going to put the pedal to the metal here, try to get the top end speed around Bo Rarig and Ben Dell in lane number 1, but it's going to be a real tall order as he hits the exit, hits the entrance pin, and let's see if he can pull it off. But Eddie Camfouche and Matt Johnson across the line 1 and 2. Let's see this finish to this heat, Brad, in 3 and 4. Looks like Ben Dell is going to use lane 1 to his advantage, and Ben Dell is going to take third place from Tim. I can't tell from here, Brad. We'll wait. Tim Johnson gets him at the line just barely. Wow. So Tim Johnson takes third place. Eddie Canfouche takes first. Matt Johnson and Tim Johnson second and third. And Ben Dowell in fourth and Bo Rarig in fifth. What a finish to that heat, Brad.
Yeah, what a finish to that heat. And for Tim Johnson, that was the difference between third place finish and fifth place finish. A big difference in points as well. And between those 3 boats in third, fourth, and fifth, you could have thrown a blanket across them. Holy cow, that was a good one. I think we've got, I'm not sure who you've got in the booth with you, but I think you've got one of our drivers from our Heat 2B.
Yeah, Tim Johnson, what a run on the outside. You put the some more acceleration maybe or top speed around him on the outside and just able to nip Ben Dell for third at the line. Good run.
Thank you. Yeah, Mike Spotter, Kelsey Best, great job he's doing. He's in my ear telling me where everybody is and saying, you know, you got 2 on your inside, but you can catch them, keep pushing it, and that was the difference between, like Brad said, 5th and 3rd. So it was a great job by him, and obviously just a huge thank to all our sponsors: Spokane Angels Foster Care, Goodman Real Estate, Citizens of Madison, Indiana, and the Miss Madison team, Justy Stitches, the APBA, Atomic Screen Printing and Embroidery, Staples of Spokane, Orca Scupas Center, and Woodshed Embroidery. Can't thank them enough for helping us put on this event.
Well, and Tim, Brad Luce here, we want to thank you as well. Great racing. You guys are putting on a terrific show. And as we've always said, whether it's real racing or here in the E-League Racing Series presented by Spokane Angels Foster Care, the good racing doesn't always have to be out front. I just made the comment that finish you just had there for third place, you could throw a blanket over all 3 of it for third, fourth, and fifth. That's good stuff.
Well, yeah, we're always looking to push it as hard as we can and beat each other, and we're also excited to be doing this, and just can't thank all the teams and sponsors enough for this opportunity.
Well, Tim, thank you. A good finish there. We'll look for you later on the day. Obviously, you've got yet another preliminary heat before we start talking about the final. Congratulations, a good run. We'll look for you later on in the day, Tim Johnson. This is a reminder, our H1 Unlimited E-League Hydroplane Racing Series is brought to you by Spokane Angels Foster Care. At Spokane Angels Foster Care, it is their mission to walk alongside children, youth, and families in the foster care community by offering consistent support through intentional giving, relationship building, and mentorship. And by Jesse Stitches, custom embroidery and more in Snohomish, Washington since 1990. And as a reminder, H1 Unlimited is a proud club of the American Powerboat Association, the national authority for boat racing in the United States. The APBA is a member-driven organization established in 1903 and headquartered in East Point, Michigan. For more information on the American Powerboat Association or to become a member, head over to www.apba.org. That's www.apba.org. Heat 2B is in the books. Tate Meyer, it's time now for our Heat 3A and 3B. You've got the draws up there on the screen. We get to the third section of heats, Tate. It's always very, very important because now we start talking about points. as this is the last opportunity for each of our 12 teams to earn points to find their way into the final. And as we said during that last heat, you got to be in that final before you can win this thing.
Yep, you got to be in the final before you can win. The only person locked into the final right now is Kelsey Best with 860 points. So everybody else can be either relegated to the trailer or promote themselves up to the final heat without having to go through the provisional heat. But back to 2B, Brad. Tim Johnson beat Ben Dell by 1/10 of 1 mile per hour for third place. Just a fantastic racing all the way up and down the field. But in Heat 3A, we kind of had the same rundown to some effect. We got the U1 Bucket List Racing 1 with Eddie Canfouche, the U3 Griggs Ace Hardware, the U8 Strong Racing 1, the U11 J&Ds, the U12 Graham Trucking, and the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. And in Heat 3B, Kelsey Best, he's locked into the final in the U6 Miss HomeStreet, U7 Boitano Homes, and the U9 Strong Racing 2, U48 Lake Ridge Paving, U91 Goodman Real Estate, and the U440 Bucket List Racing 2 with Bo Rarick. And I believe it's this heat that Eddie Canfouche can lock up the National High Points Championship for the second consecutive season in our E-League, Brad. So this heat in 3A and 3B has a lot on the line heading into this afternoon.
Yeah, it certainly does. The third heat is always the most interesting. I know the fans out there, along with myself, we're kind of watching the draw here to see if maybe we got Eddie Canfouche and Kelsey Best matched up together. Of the 4 heats run today, those 2 drivers have claimed all 4 of them. There's a showdown coming up potentially in the final, but we got racing to take care of before that. Let's do it. Heat 3A, a lot on the line. As you just said, Tate Meyer, put us on the clock. Let's go racing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Heat 3A, HomeStreet Bake, San Diego Bayfair on the clock.
Inside 5 minutes. 5 minutes to Heat 3A, as we've mentioned here a couple of times. The last opportunity for 6 of our boats to earn points and find their way into the final heat. Going into the third section, as Tate just outlined, only one boat and driver, that being Kelsey Best in the Miss HomeStreet, has already assured himself a spot in that final. The rest of the drivers, including all 6 in our Heat 3A, are trying to find their way to that final heat. Let's take a look at the 6 boats competing in our Heat 3A. You ride along with Matt Johnson in the red, white, and blue U98 Graham Trucking American Dream, second place finish last time out. Matt, the 30-year-old out of Port Angeles, he'd like to score well here and make sure he's on the front row of the final. Looking here at the U8 Strong Racing entry number 1, Carson Kelly. Looking for a strong showing here. These guys, all of them in this particular heat, need a strong showing to get their way and assure themselves a spot in the front row of the final. Carson Kelly is no different. Driving the U8 Strong Racing, Carson out of Bonnie Lake, Washington. Looking at the piston power there, TJ Serwinski out of Tonawanda, New York. Driving the U3 Go3 Racing's Griggs Ace Hardware, a favorite no matter where we go on the H1 Unlimited Tour and also the H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series. Everybody loves piston power. TJ Zerwinski, U3, Griggs Ace Hardware. Guy we've been talking about a lot today, Eddie Canfouche, 2 heat victories already today, 800-plus points here going into the third section, driving the number 1 bucket list racing entry. It's the U1. Also, he is the defending National High Points champion. If the cards fall right in Heat 3A, he could clinch his 2nd National High Points title in a row. Eddie Canfouche, bucket list racing. You're on board now with Ben Dowell in the U11, the J&Ds. 33-year-old out of Nashville, Tennessee, originally from the Pacific Northwest and Tacoma, Washington specifically. Ben Dowell driving the J&Ds, the U11. Looking at our parkers and starters down there, setting on board now, a very slow-moving U12, the Graham Trucking, Jeff Dewalt, subbing for Quentin Miller today, but he understands the park and start sequence. He knows how to handle this. The young man out of Warren, Michigan, driving the U12, Graham Trucking, predominantly red Tate Meyer, when I see those boats down there, I always like to make the comment, the fastest closed course race boats in the world. And there they are, not even moving. A little bit of an oxymoron there, but we understand why. It's part of the start sequence. Bring them to the line for the 1 minute buoy and the score up coming out of turn one.
And it's sometimes the most exciting part of a race, Brad, that battle for lanes right here. As you see, not going at top speed, but Eddie Canfush and Ben Dell jockeying for position, jockeying for lane one. Let's see what strategy they're going to come up with. Looks like with 35 seconds left, they're going to come up and join these parking starters up here in turn number one, them being Carson Kelly and Jeff Dewalt. Let's see who gets what. We got 3 boats further on back and Eddie kind of midway. Let's see who gets lane one. We got 20 seconds left. Here goes Jeff Dewalt. He may be a little bit early getting on the accelerator. He may be going around. We got 10 seconds left. Looks like Jeff's going to have to come off the throttle as we're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. Looks like to be a very clean score up as they head up the backstretch. Jeff DeWalt's going to be left in the dust. Let's see if Ben Dell is going to have any overlap. Looks like Matt Johnson has overlap on Eddie Canfush. He can come over to lane 2. Looks like Ben Dell may come over to lane 3. I don't think he has clearance over Matt Johnson, or Matt Johnson's not going to let him in very easily. We'll see what lane Ben Dell takes at the entrance pin. Looks like he took lane 3 and left Carson and Matt in lanes 1 and 2.
That's what I see as well. That was an interesting run up the backstretch, and it was a rough run up the backstretch for some of the guys. You saw the boats leaping out of the water, especially Ben Dowell in the J&Ds. Where's Eddie? Here he comes. He's going to be in lane 4. We've been watching him run and run very successfully in lane 2. This time he's going to be pushed out a little bit wider. We'll see how it works for Fast Eddie Canfush, young man out of Grand Island, New York. We are inside 10 seconds. In fact, we are inside 5 seconds to our start. It's Heat 3A, and we are 2 seconds. 1 mark, and we're racing here in Heat 3A at the HomeStreet Bank, San Diego Bayfair. The start is clean, and it is Ben Dowell in the J&Ds in lane number 3 that's going to get down to the lower corner first, but he's got a lot of speed off to his left and a right side rear view mirror that is full of Eddie Canfush. Look at this, Tate Meyer. They're going to come off the corner 4 wide down there. 3 of them you can throw a blanket across halfway down the backstretch. The J&Ds and Ben Dowell showing a lot of speed. He's just driving an awfully big race course. And the youngster on the inside, Carson Kelly, is trying to run down Matt Johnson. Really good racing here in our Heat 3A. Top end of the race course. Tate Meyer, bring him around to complete lap 1.
Matt Johnson's going to pass the exit pin of the SeaWorld turn in first place. Carson Kelly's just a boat length behind him in second, and a boat length behind him is Ben Dowell in third. What a great Heat 3A start we have here, Brad, as they start lap 2. Matt Johnson's going to lead him across the line. Eddie Canfush is not far back here in 4th place, but as Matt Johnson leads him into turn number 1, he's going to leave a lane for Carson, and he's going to make as tight of a tidy of a lane around turn number 1 as he can as he passes the exit pin and leads up the backstretch on lap 2.
Boy, that was just a gorgeous corner down there by Matt Johnson. It's called driving the other driver clean. He left a lane in there for Carson Kelly, a lane and about an inch, and that was about it. It was tight, but it was certainly a legal lane, and that's what you expect. That's how you want to drive and race when you're out here being this competitive, and this is about as competitive as it can get. Oh, and Carson Kelly hit the buoy. You saw the boat swerve to the left. By the time he corrected, he was inside the race course. He couldn't get back out fast enough. That's going to be a penalty, and all of a sudden, Matt Johnson, as he completes lap number 2, has got everything going his way here in Heat 3A. At the HomeStreet Bank, San Diego Bayfair. Tough break for Carson Kelly, Tate.
Tough break for Carson as Matt hits the entrance pin of turn number 1. Eddie Canfush is going to put up a fight and try to get around Ben Dowell for now what's going to be 2nd place instead of 3rd place, as Carson Kelly has a 1-lap penalty now for hitting a buoy in the SeaWorld turn. Let's see if Eddie Canfush has the top speed. Maybe he has a lane 2 set up and he's out in lane 5, Brad, so he might not have the top speed in order to get around Ben. Let's see what happens around this final turn. Take him around to end 3A.
Our leader is already up and through the top end of the race course. The race is for second place, as Tate Meyer showed. Coming off the corner, it's going to be Ben Dowell. Is Eddie Canfouche going to have enough speed to run him down? I don't think so. I think it's going to be Ben Dowell, but let's see. We've seen stranger things today, and we've seen a lot of speed on the outside. Here comes Eddie flying the boat down the front straightaway, but he's not going to be able to catch Ben Dowell, who hangs on for a solid second place finish. Great run for Ben Dowell. Good run for Eddie Canfouche. And then there was Matt Johnson, who just showed an incredible amount of speed, drove it in lane 2. As you see, Jeff Dewalt come across the finish line in the 12, the Graham Trucking. And Tate, we have this conversation a lot. If you're going to be in lane 1, that's one thing, but it's tough to be in lane 1 and trail somebody on your outside in lane 2 who just gives you a lane and nothing else. You make one little mistake, and it can cost you dearly. Oh, that was a good one. I think we got Matt in the announcer's booth. Go ahead, Tate, take it away.
Yeah, Matt, you got to didn't get to the turn 1 first, but you had a cleaner line in lane 2 and was able to get past Ben Dowell in the subsequent laps. That was a runaway once Carson hit the buoy, but good run.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was yeah, I know. I mean, with Carson on the inside, he's obviously shown that he's got a lot of speed, so it's all about just holding him tight. And I knew Ben was out there, but I couldn't see him most of the time, so it was just, trying to do my best and, keep the boat on the water, keep it fast, and, hope for the best. So.
Matt, you got Brad loose here. I made the comment during the heat. We had some great aerial shots of you guys, you and Carson going through the corners. You've given him a lane, but not a whole lot more. It was legal, and that's the whole idea. Hold him in tight. And if anything happens to him, the slightest hiccup, it can cost him. And unfortunately it did, but it was strong driving on your part.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the way to do it, I guess, is, I'm always just trying to keep the guy that's on my inside uncomfortable. As soon as he gets comfortable and has enough room to, breathe a little bit, they'll make me pay for it. So it's, I hate to see, somebody hit a buoy, but that's, I guess, the challenge of trying to hold lane 1 when you're behind somebody. So, yeah.
I think they say something like that's boat racing.
Yeah, exactly.
But I made the comment you drove him clean. You certainly did. So congratulations. That ought to put you squarely in our final heat. I know that's where you want to be. So we'll look for you in the final of the day. Congratulations.
Thank you. I think it's about my time to win one of these finals. So, but
Well,
before I go, I do want to thank sponsors. I gotta thank Graham again for letting me drive his boat. Obviously, Spokane Angels for presenting the series. It's really awesome. Jesse Stitches, APBA, Atomic Screen Printing, Staples of Spokane, the Orca Scuba Center, Woodshed Embroidery. Really, can't thank these guys enough for their sponsorship.
Well, and we thank you very, very much for all you're doing for our sport. Matt, good luck. We'll look for you in the final heat. That is Matt Johnson, driver of the 98, the Graham Trucking American Dream, the winner of our Heat 3A. The H1 Unlimited E-League Hydroplane Racing Series is brought to you in part by Atomic Screen Printing and Embroidery, the leading Northwest producer of high-quality screen-printed and embroidered products since 1998. And by Staples of Spokane. Staples, going the extra mile for your office needs. And by Orca Scuba Center in Wenatchee, Washington. A member of the Professional Association of Diving Instructors, Orca offers a full range of snorkeling and scuba courses, along with everything you need for your next adventure. And also by Woodshed Embroidery in Spokane, Washington, for all your embroidery and vinyl needs, to include shirts, hats, jackets, patches, and more. It's Woodshed Embroidery in Spokane, Washington. Tate Meyer, there's only one more heat to go before we go to our provisional and our winner-take-all final. It's our Heat 3B. I think we're ready to go. Get us on the clock.
Looking for a countdown. We're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Heat 3B, last preliminary to get yourself into the final, Brad. Looks like we only have Kelsey Best locked into the final of these boats. Let's see what happens.
Kelsey Best is the only boat, his being the Miss HomeStreet, that is already locked into our final heat. But it is also the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. So we'll see how hard Kelsey wants to push this. He has been so strong today. His starting sequence, his starting procedures have been almost unmatched. He's been able to grab an inside lane, be on time at the start, and he has literally walked away from the field in the 2 preliminary heats. That is the boat you are riding right behind right now, the predominantly blue and white. It's the Miss HomeStreet, the U6, driven by Kelsey Best. Taking a look there at Bo Rarig's ride. The Bucket List Racing 2, the U440. All Tennessee orange and bright Tennessee orange on this beautiful San Diego Mission Bay. Bo Rarig drives the U440. He's out of Monroe, Washington. He was our Guntersville winner this year. That was the first race of the year. He'd like to sandwich in a win at the final race as well. Bo Rarig, Bucket List Racing 2. You're riding on board now with Nick Kish out of Rochester Hills, Michigan. He's a rookie. He's 32 years of age, but he is getting very, very comfortable in this U9. The boat appears to be riding stronger today than I've seen it all year. U9 Strong Racing number 2 entry, Nick Kish. And we saw that interesting start procedure he had in one heat where he stayed at the dock. I tried to time it right to the 1 minute buoy. Interesting start procedure. This time, a little more conventional out on the race course. See our boats in what we call the milling period here. There you see the U7, Boitano Homes, Spirit of Detroit. It's driven by Scott Przybylski, the San Diego, California native. If anybody knows this race course, it'd be Scott Przybylski. And worth noting, as we did earlier in the day, Scott won this very event last year. He won it driving the U9. Nick Kish is aboard today. But Scott was a winner here a year ago. He knows how to handle the salt water here on Mission Bay. U7, Boitano Homes. The one I like, the color scheme I always mention that I do like, is the Goodman Real Estate, the U91. Tim Johnson, the 24-year-old out of Pasco, Washington. When he's not driving boats, he's a mechanical engineer out at Bechtel. But this boat, owned by the citizens of Madison, Indiana. Gold trimmed in black, very beautiful boat on the water. This is a quick one. Look for Tim Johnson to push to get to the front of the pack in this heat and find himself a place in the final. Tim Johnson, U91 Goodman Real Estate. We got the Parkers and the starters. It looks like Mickey Washburn out there. There he is, just outside Kelsey Best. They could roll down the window and have a conversation there. Mickey Washburn out of Pasco, Washington, handles the driving chores of the U48, the Lake Ridge Paving. And that almost looks like they're doing something in tandem there. It's like they're parking lanes in a parking lot. They're so sequential there. But that is Mickey Washburn out of Pasco, driving the 48, predominantly white, Lake Ridge Paving. Coming up on 20 seconds until the 1 minute mark. Tate, bring him to the 1 minute buoy.
We got more parking starters than we do leapfroggers here coming to the 1 minute pin from our drone of hovering above turn number 1. We got 7, and Kelsey's getting on it. We're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. That's going to be close, but again, Kelsey jumped the score up, but he's already locked into the final, so maybe he was trying to find a little bit of a new strategy, Brad. Test it out in this heat. It doesn't really matter so much before he gets into the final, but Mickey Washburn is going to have lane 1, it looks like, up the backstretch, and Scott Przybylski is in lane 2. Let's see if Nick Kish comes over to lane 3 and cuts off Bo Rarig. It looks like he might, as they hit the entrance pin to the SeaWorld turn. Let's see where Bo Rarig filters out. I think he's in lane 3.
I think so too. Just looking by the wash, we see there we got boats spread out here. We're still 20 seconds until the start. Washburn has already come off the top end of the race course. The boats are really spread out. The comment you made about Kelsey Best, I agree. That is one of the benefits of already being locked into the final. He could try something different if he wanted. We're coming up on 5 seconds to the start. In fact, we are 3, 2 seconds, 1, mark, and look at the speed on the outside for Tim Johnson driving the 91. He's got off to his left, Bo Rarig in the 440 Bucket List Racing, but a ton of boat speed on the far, far outside for the Goodman Real Estate and Tim Johnson. Now you see Bo Rarig make up ground on the inside. He's only back about 3 or 4 boat lengths, and that's because Tim is riding a very, very big race course. He can move to his left, though, if he wants, and he can tighten it up on Bo Rarig halfway up the backstretch here in our Heat 3B of the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. And you see that's exactly what Tim Johnson has done. He's tightened it up on Bo Rarig. If we go to the view from the sky, and you can see it from there, he's holding Bo in tight to the buoy row, and that's what we saw in the previous heat, coming down to put one in the book. It is Tim Johnson out front, but Bo Rarig is right in that left side rear view mirror, Tate.
What each setup is in the boat is going to be highly prevalent here, Brad. We'll see if Bo Rarig has maybe an inside lane setup, and obviously Tim Johnson has an outside lane setup. So we're going to see if the acceleration that Bo Rarig maybe has in that boat is going to be enough to get acceleration out of the corner and use the turn to his advantage in lane 1 to get up and draw alongside Tim Johnson. But it doesn't look like that so far, as they're maybe half a rooster tail apart heading up the backstretch as they head up to the pit area, as they pass Crown Point on Ski Beach, as they hit the entrance pin to turn number 2, the SeaWorld turn. Bo Rarig still a half a rooster tail behind. Let's see if Tim Johnson maybe pinches him a little bit tighter, try to scrub Bo's speed off and accelerate his speed as they finish lap number 2 and start lap number 3, Brad. He's still a half rooster tail ahead of Bo Rarig.
Yeah, and Tim doesn't seem to be tightening it up too much on Bo Rarig. You mentioned he's got an outside setup, and I don't think he wants to get in there too tight. It may cost him some boat speed or some momentum, and he's staying out almost to about lane number 3, as you see there. He's given Bo plenty of room, but he's also given himself a ton of boat speed. He's opened up water now on Bo Rarig as they go down the backstretch here on the 3rd and final time around the race course. Halfway home here in our final preliminary, it's Tim Johnson driving the U91. The Goodman Real Estate. Look at the racing we've got back in the pack. That's Mickey Washburn on the inside. He's hooked up with Nick Kish, driving Strong Racing number 2. As we've had all day long, there's been good racing back in the pack. It is that way in the E-League Racing Series presented by Spokane Angels Foster Care. There is always good racing on the race course somewhere. Final lap. You look at Tim Johnson driving the 91, the Goodman Real Estate, as he comes across and picks up 400 points. 400 points in our Heat 3B. That is going to put him in the final, along with teammate, if you will, Kelsey Best. We'll get the final order of finish here for all our boats. And that one's really close right there between Kish and Washburn.
It was Nick Kish who got him at the line for 4th place. And then
Wow.
Kelsey Best rounds out the field. Again, he didn't need a lot of points to get in the final. He didn't need any. He was already locked in, but try to test some timing marks before the final heat, Brad. But that was good racing back in the pack.
Certainly was. We've seen it all day and all season long as a couple of our boats get very close together there. It's our 2nd place finisher, Bo Rarig, there going over and just saying hello to Tim Johnson and saying, nice boat race. Thanks for giving me all the lane space down there. It made things a little bit easier. I think we've got Bo Rarig up in the broadcaster's booth. Take it away, Tate.
Bo, good run. You couldn't really get some acceleration out of the corners and use turn 1 to your complete advantage because Tim had that big setup outside in lane number 5 and then eventually on your outside lane number 2. How did it feel being on the inside lane there?
I felt a vibration. But, yeah, Tim had his big setup on, I'm sure of it. He is our top qualifier. He was rocketing away from me in the straightaways. Turn 1 was my only chance to catch him, but, you know, that was a fun heat.
Yeah, fun heat, and you guys needed to. You're in the final now, along with Tim. So both of you were clear ahead of the rest of the field when it came to trying to get into the final. So in the final with your teammate, what are you going to be talking about here in this interim between now and the start of the final?
Well, got to end on a high note. So we got to get Eddie. We're trying to get Eddie a win here. Or if he gets in a bad spot, I'll try it myself. But, you know, bucket list racing is we're going to go out here on a win here.
All right. Good strategy to take heading into the final. We'll see you in the final, and good luck the rest of the way, Bo.
Yeah, thank you, Tate. Thank you, Brad. Just want to thank Spokane Angels Foster Care, Jesse Stitches, the American Powerboat Association, Atomic Screen Printing, Staples of Spokane, Ulrika Scuba Center, and Woodshed Embroidery for sponsoring the H1 Unlimited E-League. Thank you very much for what you do, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the show.
Bo Rarig, we are enjoying the show. Go get ready for that final heat. As Bo was just explaining, the H1 Unlimited E-League Hydroplane Racing Series is brought to you by Spokane Angels Foster Care in Spokane, Washington. Spokane Angels, where they wrap community around children, youth, and families experiencing foster care. H1 Unlimited is a proud club of the American Powerboat Association, the national authority for boat racing in the United States. The APBA is a member-driven organization established in 1903 and headquartered in East Point, Michigan. For more information on the American Powerboat Association, head on over to www.apba.org. And by Jesse Stitches, custom embroidery and more in Snohomish, Washington since 1990. Tate Meyer, it is time for our provisional heat. I think you've got it up there on the screen. Explain to our fans what it means to be in the provisional, and if you are lucky enough to win the provisional, what is it that you actually win?
Well, it's not a very comfortable spot if you win the provisional heat. You're the trailer boat behind 6 other H1 Unlimited hydroplanes heading into the first turn, 5 seconds behind them. You have to be 5 seconds behind the clock, but not the whole field. So if the whole field's 5 seconds behind, you can be right up there with them and try to find your lane on the outside and try to pull off a victory a la Mike Hansen here in San Diego in 1993 in the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. So we'll see what happens if any of these boats get that opportunity, but first you must win the final heat to become the trailer boat in the final. And in the final we have the U3 Griggs Ace Hardware, the U7 Boitano Homes, the U8 and U9 Strong Racing 1 and 2, U12 Graham Trucking, and the U48 Lake Ridge Paving. So it should be an interesting provisional heat with the lead up, our second to last heat of the series for season 2 of the E-League. And we're hearing a countdown from our officials. We're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Provisional heat, 5 minutes to decide who the trailer is, Brad.
5 minutes, and inside of 5 minutes, and we are on the clock. It is the provisional heat at the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. 4 minutes and 45 seconds, as Tate just so correctly explained there. The winner of the provisional heat does make their way into the final heat. That is the good news. The bad news is you have to start behind the clock by 5 seconds, so you're going to be at a disadvantage. It has happened before. It could happen again. It has happened in real unlimited hydroplane racing right here on this race course. But right now, what is at hand is the provisional heat. You're riding along with the U12, the Graham Trucking Jeff Dewalt out of Warren, Michigan. He would love to get the bright red boat with the black and silver trim into that final heat. Trailer boat or not, Jeff Dewalt would like to make the final. Piston power coming down the front straightaway there. Go 3 Racing, the Griggs Ace Hardware, that's the U3, another predominantly red boat, trimmed in black and white. TJ Zerwinski behind the wheel. TJ out of Tonawanda, New York. I said earlier in the day, and it still holds true, he'd love to come from New York all the way to San Diego, California, and show them they know how to drive up there in the Northeast. This man's getting better and better. A win in the provisional would certainly put a smile on his face. Lake Ridge Paving, this guy seems to be busy this afternoon. Every time I turn around, he's in another heat. Mickey Washburn driving the 48, the Lake Ridge Paving. It's the predominantly white boat with the black and white checkerboard scheme on the fairings. Mickey out of Pasco, Washington, 42 years of age. Looking right out his window at the bright red Strong Racing number 1 entry, the U8 of Carson Kelly. Carson out of Bonnie Lake, Washington, came so close in our opening race in Guntersville to being the winner. Here he is in San Diego fighting for a spot in the final. The U7 Boitano Homes, Spirit of Detroit, predominantly red boat, driven by Scott Krzybilski out of San Diego. I mentioned earlier, he won on this race course a year ago in a different boat. If he's going to do it this year, it's going to have to be from the trailer position, and it's going to involve a win here in the provisional heat. Scott Krzybilski driving the U7 Boitano Homes, Spirit of Detroit.
Look, our
We're looking
final
good.
participant, Brad, is pulling off his old strategy here at the dock, Nick Kish.
I see that. There he is. And he's still got 2 minutes and 15 seconds before the start. If memory serves me right, he pulled away about 1:45 from the dock and was a moment early. He had to pull his foot. I like the strategy. I love something different. Keep an eye on him, Tate. This is going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting as he starts the Lycoming T55 engine up, as you heard in the background. Let's see what Nick Kish does as they go down to turn number 1. Let's catch up with the rest of the field here. Here's Jeff Dewalt. He's cutting the course, going to the backstretch up to the pit area, and he's going to make a full loop around the race course. Let's see where our other participants are. Here's TJ Serwinski coming off of turn number 4, the SeaWorld turn, going up the front stretch. There's Nick Kish. Here's our parking starters down here in turn number 1, and that sun is getting a little low coming off the Pacific Ocean here, just on the other side of that landmass. So 20 seconds, it might be a little bit hairy for the drivers exiting turn 1 as the sun's right in their eyes. Here comes Nick Kish with a carload of boat speed. Let's see if he timed it right this time. He's 10 seconds. He's going way wide, trying to scrub speed. He's 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Let's see if he is clean. He has a clean start, Brad, as they head up the backstretch. He didn't have the boat speed that he had last time, so he's going to stay out in lane 5. But Jeff Dewalt has overlap. He's going to go all the way over to lane 1 and hopefully secure lane 1 and a better effort to get into the final on behalf of Graham Trucking. Let's see what the back of the field does. Nick Kish probably claims lane 2, lane 3. Carson Kelly, lane 2. And Jeff DeWalt, lane 1. Let's see where Nick Kish lines up. Looks like he's actually in 2, Brad. We'll see what the officials line it out with. I think he's in lane 2, so Carson Kelly's going to have to go out to lane 3. We'll see about this start, Brad. An interesting score up to the Provisional Heat.
Sure was. We're 10 seconds away from the start. Remember, you establish your lane at the entrance pin to the upper corner before the start. We'll get back into that. We're 2 seconds, 1 second, mark. Racing here in the Provisional Heat of the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair.
Nick
and
Kish
rocking
jumped
and
the gun.
rolling down to the lower corner is on the outside. I believe that is Scott Przybylski. It is. It's Przybylski with the lead. Kish is off to his left on the inside. Was the start legal, Tate?
No, Nick Kish jumped the gun, so it's Scott Przybylski leading up the backstretch in the U7. Boitano Holmes at his home race, Brad, trying to get into the final.
It's been a tough day for Nick Kish in the start procedures, but you got to give the kid credit for trying. I really like the effort. Unfortunately, it didn't work. That is him in second place on the inside, up the backstretch there at the top end of the race course, the SeaWorld turn. He appears to be in second place, but as you heard from Tate, he jumped the starter gun, which means he was across the start-finish line before the clock struck 0. He will have to run an extra lap, so it's way out in front right now for Scott Przybylski in the U7. Boitano Holmes, Spirit of Detroit. He'd love to win this and get himself in the final. Keep an eye on Jeff DeWalt in the U12 Graham Trucking. He is on the inside, albeit quite a ways back. That's going to be a tall order to have to run down Przybylski, Tate, but that's what he's going to have to try and do.
It will be a tall order, and it looks like Scott Przybylski has overlap on Nick Kish, so Jeff DeWalt can't rely on Nick Kish being sort of a pick to keep Scott Przybylski out in lane 3 or 4. He's going to come all the way over to lane 2 as they head up the backstretch towards our camera here in the pit area at the San Diego Bayfair as he hits the entrance pin to turn 2. And Jeff DeWalt takes over second place, and Mickey Washburn's right there battling for second with Jeff DeWalt. Jeff DeWalt's in the slop, left behind by Scott Przybylski as they exit the turn. Mickey Washburn's in a lot better shape as he powers past him as they start lap number 3, the final lap. Can Mickey Washburn get to Scott Przybylski? I don't think he can.
I don't think he can either. That's a tall order, and you see the spacing there. It is all Scott Przybylski, and it's at least 2 rooster tails back to our second place boat, Mickey Washburn, and then it's back to Jeff DeWalt after that. Going to be a little bit too much of an order to try and run down our leader with only a half a lap to go. Scott Przybylski, our winner 1 year ago on the San Diego Mission Bay 2.5 mile race course. He's not going to be on the front row, but if he can negotiate the SeaWorld turn one more time, he will at least be able to claim a spot in the final, albeit the trailer will keep our cameras on him and bring him off the top into the race course. He is clean. Tate Meyer, bring him down to the checkered flag. Scott Przybylski, U7 Boitano Homes.
Scott Przybylski gets the spot into the final via the trailer position. The U7 Boitano Homes. What a run for his hometown race. He's not going to be on the front line, but he will be in the final nonetheless. I'm sure that's what he was looking for, to be here when it came final heat time. And Nick Kish jumped the gun. He's a lap down. He'll finish in 6th. Carson Kelly finished in 3rd. And we will see TJ Serwinski cross the line. And Scott Przybylski head into the final, albeit the trailer boat, as we are gearing up for our final heat.
Good racing there in our provisional, as it has been all day long. You can't look at that as just a race for the has-beens or boats that are limping around and not running well. In the H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series presented by Spokane Angels Foster Care, sometimes the best racing of the day might happen in the provisional. Glad to have Scott Przybylski aboard in the final heat. He is the game's creator. He's from San Diego, and he's our defending champion. I think it's only right that he be on the water for our final heat.
Yep, and we're going to bring in Scott Przybylski. Scott, you made it into the final in your hometown race, but albeit the trailer position. How did that final or the provisional heat unfold from your perspective?
Man, that was close. I thought I was gonna jump. I was like right on the line when the clock ticked down to 0. But I'm happy to be in the final. I was been struggling with starts all day, but very very excited to run the final heat.
Well, and Scott Brad Luce here, you're our defending champion driver, if you will. You seem to like this race course. I just made the comment before you jumped in. It seems only fitting that we have you in the final here in San Diego. It's your hometown. You like this race course, I know.
I do, yeah. This is one of my favorites. I just was struggling a little bit today with starts for some reason. I don't know why, but got it sorted out in the Connie, but little too late.
And it's a little different start procedure now for you in the final, because you got to start behind everybody. But hey, if you're going to make a good start, I always say make it at the end of the day, not at the beginning.
Yep, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed for a lot of gun jumpers in the final. So
yeah, hopefully everybody's 10 seconds late and you can lead them across.
Yep, that'd be nice.
Scott, thanks for jumping in here and joining us. Congratulations on making the final.
Yep, thank you. Thanks Boitano Homes sponsoring the boat, and all of our sponsors, Spokane Angels, Jesse Stitches, APBA, Atomic Screen Printing, Staples of Spokane, Orca Scuba Center, and Woodshed Embroidery. Thanks for sponsoring the event today. It's been fun.
And Scott, thank you for all you have done for this game, the racing platform, the sport. It's greatly appreciated. Have fun in the final.
Yep, thank you. Talk to you later.
Scott Przybylski, ladies and gentlemen, he'll be our trailer driver in the final heat. The H1 Unlimited E-League Hydroplane Racing Series is brought to you by Atomic Screen Printing and Embroidery, a leading Northwest producer of high-quality screen-printed and embroidered products since 1998. And by Staples of Spokane. Staples, going the extra mile for your office needs in Spokane, Washington. Also by Orca Scuba Center in Wenatchee, Washington. A member of the Professional Association of Diving Instructors, Orca offers a full range of snorkeling and scuba courses, along with everything you need for your next adventure. And by Woodshed Embroidery in Spokane, Washington, for all your embroidery and vinyl needs, to include shirts, hats, jackets, patches, and more. It's Woodshed Embroidery in Spokane, Washington. Tate Meyer, we're just about ready to put a close on the 2021 H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series presented by Spokane Angels Foster Care. I'm going to put you on the spot here just a little bit because I know you've been looking at some numbers. Where are we in our national high points discussion? Have you got the numbers?
I do have the numbers, and Eddie Canfouche is our 2021 E-League National High Point Champion. So congrats to Eddie Canfouche, back-to-back titles in these two seasons we have run where we haven't had any real racing. So congrats to Eddie Canfouche. We're going to bring him in here after the final heat and get a little bit of a comment from him. But the final heat is going to be exciting. The final heat of Season 2, the final heat of the San Diego Bayfair from HomeStreet Bank. We are getting on the clock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Final heat are on the clock.
Inside 5 minutes to the final heat for the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. It's the H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series presented by Spokane Angels Foster Care. It's the final heat, and the first thing we have to remind all of our fans, Tate Meyer, we go 5 laps around in this one, and not 6 boats, but this time 7 of them come away from the dock. Quite a sight there as we see the boats coming away from the pit area. Always a great sight on any race course as the boats enter. San Diego is no different. Let's take a look at our combatants, starting first with the U98, the Graham Trucking American Dream. Matt Johnson out of Port Angeles, Washington, handles the driving. Could this be the day the young man finally claims a first-place finish? He'd love to make it happen right now. Looking at Bo Raring, he's already been a winner this year. He won the Guntersville race at the beginning of the season. He knows what it means to win. He'd still like to do it again. He driving the Tennessee Orange Bucket List Racing 2, the U440. Bo Raring out of Monroe, Washington. The U11 J&D's Ben Dowell out of Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, he's no different than any of the other drivers. He'd love to cap this season 2 of the H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series with a victory on San Diego's Mission Bay. Ben Dowell driving the 11, the J&D's. Looking there at the newly crowned 2021 National High Points Champion for the second year in a row, Fast Eddie Canfouche Bucket List Racing. The boat is number U1. It'll be U1 next year. And right now, Eddie can forget all about the National High Points Championship. He's got that all locked up. Look for him to find an inside lane, maybe around 2 or 3. He'd love to win this final race of the season. Eddie Canfouche, Bucket List Racing, the U1. On board now with Scott Krzybilski driving the 7, Boitano Home, Spirit of Detroit. We just spoke with Scott. He, the winner of our Provisional Heat, he has to start 5 seconds behind the clock. A tough place to run from, but Scott will take it on and enjoy the challenge. This one's been a quick one all day, starting with our qualifying session when they topped 170 miles an hour. Tim Johnson in the black and gold U91 Goodman Real Estate. If he can pull it all together with a good start and a lot of boat speed and maybe wind it up on the outside, he could be a boat that is difficult to beat. Tim Johnson, Goodman Real Estate. The U6, these guys have had a whale of a day. Kelsey Best driving the U6, the Miss HomeStreet. It is the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. You know, Kelsey would love to win this one. He won his first 2 heats of the day, got aggressive with his start procedure in his 3rd heat, jumped the score-up buoy, and had to come back around and finish behind everybody. But this boat has been a rocket ship. Kelsey's on the inside. You're going to have your hands full driving around the blue and white boat. Looking at our boats hang down there in the lower corner, you see Eddie Canfouche there driving the Bucket List Racing. Tate Meyer, this is the first time we have seen Eddie Canfouche and Kelsey Best on the water at the same time. Mix in Tim Johnson, mix in Matt Johnson, Bo Raring. This could be a dynamite final.
It's going to be a dynamite final. Let's see who gets the lane they want or the lane they preferred with their setup. We're 10 seconds away from the score-up buoy. Looks like Ben Dowell's going to get around whoever's down here. We're 3, 2, 1, mark. Clean score up. as Eddie Kampfusch gets left behind. It's going to be Ben Dowell and Kelsey Best trying to fight out for lane number 1. Who's on the outside? I think it's Matt Johnson on Ben Dowell's outside. We'll see if he comes over and takes lane 1 from Kelsey Best. I think he did. I think Kelsey Best is going to have to move out to lane number 3, Brad.
Yeah, that was a strong run up the backstretch. Now we'll see where these boats are going to go. That was an interesting move because Kelsey is still sitting inside. He's still sitting on an inside lane.
Yeah, I don't think he's entitled to that lane, Brad. I think Matt's in 2.
Yeah, Matt should be in 2, and now Kelsey may get squeezed here. We'll just keep monitoring the official radio here for any call. Kelsey is sitting in 2, but it's Ben Dowell on the inside with 10 seconds until the start. We're inside 10 seconds. It's Matt Johnson is in lane number 3. We are coming up on 3 seconds, 2, 1 mark, and we're racing. We may have had some gun jumpers. One may have been Tim Johnson on the far outside.
Tim Johnson and Ben Dowell both jumped the gun, Brad.
Pardon me?
Tim Johnson and Ben Dowell both jumped the gun.
Oh my goodness, now there's a tough break. So what does that mean? It puts Matt Johnson in the 98, the Graham Trucking American Dream out front. He's still being chased in there by Kelsey Best and also Eddie Kampfusch, but there's a lot of speed up the backstretch in that 98 Graham Trucking American Dream. There you see basically 6 wide coming down the backstretch. Quite a sight as our H1 Unlimited E-League Racing fleet comes up the backstretch. We haven't heard anything yet with regards to Kelsey Best. He is running on the inside here, and when he has been on the inside today, he has been unbeatable. But it's Matt Johnson so far holding him off as they come down to put lap number 1 of 5 in the books. Remember, fans, we go 5 times around. This is a winner-take-all final. Oh, and Tate Meyer, this is a dandy.
This is a dandy, and unfortunately we have a score-up violation on Kelsey Best in the U6 Miss HomeStreet. He was not established in his correct lane when he hit the score-up buoy. So Matt Johnson is a full rooster tail ahead of the rest of the field because Kelsey Best has a 1-lap penalty, Brad. Tough break for Kelsey.
We need to go back to that just a little bit because you establish your lane at the entrance pin to that upper corner before the start. Kelsey had been leapfrogged. He didn't have his lane anymore, yet he was behind and trailing the other boats. When he got to that corner, he was not in his proper lane. It's going to cost him. He's pulling up almost alongside of Matt Johnson right here in the Graham Trucking American Dream, but it is all for naught. Kelsey Best in the HomeStreet, the second boat there, has to run an extra lap for a score-up violation. It is all Matt Johnson. Tate Meyer, I've been saying it all year. One of these days, Matt Johnson is going to put it all together. It looks like he might be doing it, but we're still on lap number 3 of 5. There's still a long way to go.
There's still a long way to go, and if we look back in the field here, we take our eyes off of Matt Johnson and Kelsey Best. We have Eddie Kampfusch running alone in second place, and Bo Rarig and Tim Johnson running in 3rd and 4th. So there's still anybody waiting for Matt to make a slip up, make a mistake as he heads into turn number 2, side by side with Kelsey Best. Unfortunately, Kelsey with that penalty before the score up. And Matt Johnson finishing lap number 3. He's going to start lap number 4, heading down to the start-finish line, Brad.
And as we all know, anything can happen in H1 Unlimited E-League Racing, as it can in H1 Unlimited Racing. So Matt's just got to be careful out there a little bit. You saw him get awfully close to Kelsey Best at the top end of the race course. If we know Kelsey has been disqualified, Matt knows it as well, but he doesn't want to take any chances here. He still wants to run hard, but don't get too close to Kelsey Best. Our leader, Matt Johnson, the second boat in the picture there. Looks like he's running in second place. He's not. He is your leader here at the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair, a race Kelsey really wanted to win, and Kelsey's flying the boat down the backstretch, but it's all going to be for naught as there is a penalty on Kelsey Best. Hidden in the rooster tail there, coming out of the top end of the race course, and come down and put lap number 4 in the books. He'll pick up the white flag, Tate Meyer. 1 more lap to go. The drivers love to see that white flag.
White flag for Matt Johnson. Kelsey Best has another lap to go in the Miss HomeStreet, and Eddie Kampfusch is in second place. But as long as he keeps it together, Matt Johnson is going to score his first E-League victory. You've been saying it all year, Brad, how Matt has some great speed in this 98 Graham Trucking American Dream, driving for Rob Graham for the second consecutive E-League year. Matt Johnson, great hydroplane paint designer as well. He's designed many hydroplanes in the past, and he's continuing to. So he's going to keep it on the water. He's going to enter turn 2, the final turn of the final lap of the final race of 2021. Matt Johnson comes around, and he's going to take the checkered flag, Brad.
Let's bring him off the top end of the race course. Matt Johnson, the 30-year-old out of Port Angeles, Washington, driving the 98 for Rob Graham, the Graham Trucking American Dream. I've been predicting him a winner for the last 3 races, but today he gets it. He, Matt Johnson, the winner of the 2021 HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair, driving the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. Matt Johnson, congratulations. Second place will go to Eddie Canfus, driving the Bucket List Racing. He will be our defending national high points champion for the 2nd year in a row. A good day for Eddie Canfus, the Bucket List Racing. A good day as well as a podium finish for Tim Johnson in the Goodman Real Estate, the U91. So it's going to go Goodman Real Estate in 3rd. 2nd place, Bucket List with Eddie Canfus, our winner, Graham Trucking American Dream.
Looks like Eddie Canfus got a little too excited celebrating going back to the dock, Brad. But we have Matt Johnson in the booth. Matt Johnson, you finally did it. Congratulations, our 2021 San Diego E-League winner.
Oh my gosh, it's about time, isn't it? Woo! I can't even breathe right now.
Matt, Brad Luce here, and Tate and I are kind of laughing here a little bit because we were off air before the race in Seattle, and we were looking at things and draws, and I said, by the way, I said, would you guys like to know before we get started who's going to win this? It said, because it's Matt Johnson in the 98. I said, he's going to win this thing. Well, you didn't win there, and then we joked about it a little bit here, and what do you know? Here you are. You're the winner of the HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair. I know you just tried. I'll give you another shot here. Put it into words. What does it mean?
Well, I mean, I'm sorry I let you down in Seattle, but I'm glad I could make up for it here. I mean, it's been something I've been so hungry for so long, and yeah, it's amazing to finally get back on the top of the podium instead of I've been on that second step for a while. So it's really nice to finally get up top and get a win for, obviously Graham Trucking, and yeah, it's just I'm speechless.
Matt, when did you find out that there was a penalty on Kelsey Best?
I think it was like exiting the first turn on lap 2 or something like that, and I got to give credit though to my spotter Nick. He just said, stop, just braces if Kelsey, is still good. Don't just, let him go. But at the same time, you don't want to push it too hard and risk blowing over or whatever. So he kind of just helped me stay focused, keep doing what I was doing, and get to that line first and get to that line legal. So.
You got to that line first. You got to that line legal. You also got to the finish line first. Congratulations, young man. That's got to feel pretty cool.
Oh, yes, it does. Thank you so much. And I got a huge thanks to you, Brad, for just it's so awesome to hear you announcing for us. Like, I've grown up listening to you announce during the real races, and it's really surreal to have you calling a race that we're all a part of. So I really appreciate you, obviously appreciating all the sponsors too. Again, the Spokane Angels, Jesse Stitches, APBA, Atomic Screen Printing, Staples of Spokane, Orca Scuba Center, Woodshed Embroidery, and of course, again, Graham Trucking. It's been a fun season, and really glad to end it on a high note.
Well, you certainly did. Thank you very much for the kind words. I appreciate that. Hopefully, you and I can have a personal conversation here at a boat race that may be coming up later here this summer. Maybe we can meet on the shore of a real boat race and have a face-to-face conversation. I'd like to do that. Matt Johnson, the 2021 HomeStreet Bank San Diego Bayfair champion, got a nice ring to it.
It does. Thank you.
Matt Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, and let's look up here. Do we got Eddie in the booth with us? Hey, bud, how are you? Congratulations. Back-to-back National High Point Championships. Doesn't get much better.
No, you really can't get much better than that, can you? Thank you very much. That's pretty amazing, huh?
Well, you listen to any team, and Tate and Jared are out running around now interviewing people in race teams for the upcoming 2021 real season, and they always ask them what the goals are. And the first goals anybody kicks out is, well, number one is to win the National High Points Championship. You could check that box. You've done it 2 years in a row. That's pretty special.
It's very special to be able to come out here and represent not only my team, but H1 Unlimited, and being able to, I mean, the boats aren't real, but the racing definitely is, and hopefully we've been able to provide some entertainment for everybody, and being able to be kind of at the forefront of that is, it's really special.
Well, you guys put on an awesome show all year long, and today was no different. Tate Meyer, I know you're so involved in putting this whole program together. We have a great representative of our sport with the National High Points champion 2 years in a row with Eddie Canfouche. I know you probably want to say something to the young man.
Yeah, Eddie, congratulations, 2 years in a row. I know you worked hard at it to be as good as you are at this game, so congratulations, back-to-back, first 2 seasons. Now you got to get yourself in an inboard here soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, this season was really tough. The level of competition in the E-League is so incredibly high, and also, we switched the physics engines halfway through the year, so there was learning a whole new thing, and I put in a ton of time to practice to make sure I didn't fall behind the curve, and it paid off in the end, and I'm really proud about it. And yeah, hopefully someone watching will be willing to put me in a boat. I know that's kind of a risk.
Well, congratulations, Eddie. You represent the sport very, very well, and we will look for you down the road, young man. But it was a great season. You put on a great show. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And one last thing, I got more people to thank. Of course, all of our sponsors. We have Spokane Angels, Jesse Stitches, the APBA, Atomic Screen Printing and Embroidery, Staples of Spokane, Orca Scuba Center, Woodshed Embroidery, and of course, we got to thank Sharon and Kelly Stocklin and Taylor Evans and everyone on the Bucket List Racing crew for letting me, represent them in this league. And it's been great, getting to know them and making some really great friends along the way. And thanks, of course, to my family for letting me do this. I don't think they're big fans of how much time I spend practicing, but they let it happen. They're all watching upstairs. So hi, everybody. Gotta get that one in.
That's good for you. Good for you. Well, thank you. We will look for you next year, but don't have to worry about changing the number on the boat. Just leave the 1 on there.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice. Eddie Canfouche, ladies and gentlemen, our 2021 season's High Point champion. Tate Meyer, have you got any final comments both on today or the racing season as a whole?
I just want to say what a great racing season we've had in the E-League as our run up to the start of our real H1 Unlimited season is getting ever closer. Our Gunnersville Hydrofest and Madison, Indiana Regatta last weekend in June and first weekend in July. We're going to be live streaming every session. Every time an Unlimited's on the water is going to be live streamed on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/H1Unlimited. We're really excited to get on the water for real here, but I can't thank however many people are involved here in the E-League. You, Brad, for coming over every day, every weekend, and lending your voice to a great series. All of the drivers that participated, thank you for spending time with us as much as you do, and putting on a great show. My brother being the chief referee, thank him. Thank Taylor Evans for helping us out as an assistant referee. Thank the Rainies for keeping an eye on the programs running in the background and making sure we're all squared away on the internet and make sure we're live on the internet and we experience no interruptions. And thanks to our sponsors, Spokane Angels, Foster Care, our presenting sponsor, and all the rest. We can't do this without your support, and we really thank you for hopping on and making this possible. I had a lot of fun, Brad, and I can't wait to get on the real water down in Gunnersville, Alabama, the south's fastest water down in Gunnersville, Alabama in late June.
You and me both, my friend. I am ready to get there as well. Well, one last time, the H1 Unlimited E-League Hydroplane Racing Series is brought to you by Spokane Angels Foster Care in Spokane, Washington. Spokane Angels, where it is their mission to walk alongside children, youth, and families in the foster care community by offering consistent support through intentional giving, relationship building, and mentorship. And by Jesse Stitches, custom embroidery and more in Snohomish, Washington since 1990. H1 Unlimited is a proud club of the American Powerboat Association, the national authority for boat racing in the United States. The APBA is a member-driven organization established in 1903 and headquartered in East Point, Michigan. For more information on the American Powerboat Association, head on over to www.apba.org. That's www.apba.org. And by Atomic Screen Printing and Embroidery, a leading Northwest producer of high-quality screen-printed and embroidered products since 1998. Also like to thank the folks at Staples of Spokane. Staples, going the extra mile for your office needs. And Orca Scuba Center in Wenatchee, Washington, a member of the Professional Association of Diving Instructors. Orca offers everything and all the equipment you need for your next adventure. And by Woodshed Embroidery in Spokane, Washington, for all your embroidery and vinyl needs to include shirts, hats, jackets, patches, and more. It's Woodshed Embroidery in Spokane, Washington. Thank you to all of our sponsors as a group, and congratulations one last time to our HomeStreet San Diego Bayfair champion. It's Matt Johnson, driving the U98, the Graham Trucking American Dream, and also our newly crowned 2021 season High Points champion, Eddie Canfouche, and Bucket List Racing. They can leave the number one on that boat for another year. Also like to put out a special thanks to all of our H1 Unlimited E-League racing teams and drivers. For dedication to H1 Unlimited Racing. And a special thank you also to the man who created the E-League racing platform, Mr. Scott Przybylski. He made this all possible. We can't wait to see what you might have in store for us down the road. In addition to our sponsors, the 2021 racing season has been made possible by our producer engineers, Jared and Tate Meyer. They have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make these events possible. The same can be said for Emily and Shannon Rainey for all their work. Without any one of these incredible people, the racing and this broadcast simply doesn't happen. And a thank you also to the most important people involved with the entire E-League Racing Series, and that is you, the racing fans. The fans who have stuck with us and watched our racing all year long. We hope you have enjoyed the racing as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. I look forward to seeing all of you on the shore at a real H1 Unlimited racing event later this summer. And as a reminder, as Tate just said, H1 Unlimited will have live streaming of the Race for the Southern Cup from Guntersville, Alabama, June 26 and 27. Be sure and tune in. Until then, on behalf of Tate Meyer and all of us at H1 Unlimited, this is Brad Luce saying so long, everyone.